here to Momo. You coming to see Mama? Hello, everybody. Spooky Sandwoman here. Thank you for checking out episode, 19 of Seduce Me the Otome. Artemis, don't play with that baby. And you're gonna play with it anyway. Last episode, we got a new history teacher. She sucks. Oh, at least we have the week off from school now. So, now we're alone with her. What are we gonna do? I slammed my hands on the desk in front of me and glared at Diana. What are you doing and what are you thinking?
What? Do I not make a good teacher? I figured you should have a little lesson, so I took matters into my own hands.
Whatever you're trying to do won't work.
You really think so, dear? And what makes you so sure about that?
What was making me so sure? Why was I confident? Were the boys worth this? My thoughts began to fill with doubt. All of the uncertainties about this whole ordeal began to cloud my mind. If the boys were ever found out, there would be hell to pay. Was it worth it? What about Diana? What would she do to me? Would she make my parents forget about me completely? Would she ruin my friends' lives out of spite? In my gut, I felt a stone of confidence try to fight back, but the heaviness of my thoughts began to dissolve the stone little by little. What was going on with me? I looked at Diana, once again trying to see her gaze boring into her eyes. She was using her powers on me. This time I was away from home, so I couldn't escape. Or could I? The way she stared at me made me feel warm and fuzzy in my chest. It felt like melting. Diana lifted a hand under my chin and ran her thumb over my lips, licking her own. I could feel little shots of energy zipping from under my skin into my chin where she held me.
Now, let's have a little taste of that sweet, virginal sexual energy.
Oh, no! I watched as she leaned in, ready to kiss me and take my energy. Half of my body felt elation at that idea. The other half completely rejected it and didn't want her to even touch me. Damien. Suddenly, Diana stopped in her tracks.
Damien? Who is...
Oh, yeah. Then it dawned on her.
Ah, one of the boys. Why don't you tell me which boy is Damien?
No! Fuck! I felt myself nod in compliance. The youngest. But he's not the youngest. Diana giggled in reply before letting go of my face and stepping back.
Really? The bastard's son with you?
Is he the youngest? I thought he said he was in the middle. Whatever. I nodded once again, but this time it was partly my own decision to reply. Diana let out a sound that mimicked a cat's purr before stepping away from me.
Alright then. Well, if it's the youngest son you're infatuated with...
Diana chuckled before kissing my nose, where I felt a shot of energy zap out of my body, almost making me dizzy and recoil. Diana then turned to the desk and sat on the wood, crossing her legs.
You can go now. Remember, no class for the rest of the week.
But here's my homework. Fuck you. And how am I supposed to get home? My two friends left me here thanks to you.
Oh, were they your ride? My apologies. Let me help then.
Diana then lifted her hand and snapped her fingers. I suddenly felt the floor sink underneath me, forcing me down to look. A purple pentagram surrounded my feet, pulling me into the ground. Wah! Wah! Fucking shit myself. Before I could fight, however, I sank fully into the floor, fading into darkness and shutting my eyes. As I opened them, I felt my silk sheets around me, soothing my anxiety from the darkness that had previously surrounded me. What the? Why did Diana bring me home? Was this an illusion? Was I being tricked? Something was going on. I sat up in bed, looking around me. I was indeed in my room. There was no mistake about that. Why? Diana is too strange. Was this a game? Was this part of her plan to get the boys back? I was lost and confused more than ever, despite my logical thought trying to piece that puzzle that Diana is together. The more I tried to solve it, the less I understood about the situation I was in. I was interrupted, however, by my door suddenly opening, revealing the boys with Damien's hand on the doorknob.
Miss, what are you doing here?
Aren't you supposed to be in school?
I furrowed my eyebrows and stared at Damien, asking him to answer their questions through my thoughts.
Diana sent her back here. She invaded her school and sent all the students back home.
What is that bitch up to? Seriously! Diana's playing around for no reason.
Maybe it's part of her plan.
The boys continued to argue back and forth about Diana, feeling an almost jealous curiosity in me. Damien seemed to be too deep within the talking to notice my thoughts, for he didn't even stop talking alongside his brothers. Why was Diana after them? Why did she want to bring them back? What was so important about the boys that she would travel to the human world to get them? What was going on? I decided enough was enough. I needed answers. Hey! The boys stopped arguing, staring at me in surprise. I held my hands and fists on my lap, mustering the courage to continue to speak despite my abrupt shout. Why is Diana here? Why does she want to bring you all back? Why exactly did you all run from? Why did you run from it?
Miss,
Don't miss me! Please! I need to know what is going on! I won't be left in the dark about this. I want to know what I'm facing. The boys looked at each other hesitantly, unsure of what to reply. Finally, Sam pushed Damien towards the bed, making him buckle and land on his knees with his torso over the edge of the mattress.
Damien, do the thing.
The thing? The thing? What thing?
Sam, you're not suggesting.
Why not? She deserves to know everything, especially if Diana is targeting her.
Sam's right. I guess we have no choice then.
I was getting confused. What was Damien about to do? Damien stood before climbing on the bed with me, sitting across from me on his knees.
We're going to show you everything. You have to trust me, okay? The minute you stop trusting me, the vision will stop.
Vision?
Just trust me.
I looked at Damien, unsure of what was going on, but I nodded. If this was the only way to learn, then this was my chance to know. Damien gently placed his hands on each side of my head, gently pressing his thumbs into the skin above my eyebrows. I could only stare at Damien as his eyes began to glow gold, and energy began to be both pulled out of me and forced into my head. Within seconds, my vision went black once again. I was unsure of what Damien was doing, but soon shapes and textures slowly began to appear around me. Suddenly, I found myself sitting on a stone floor in the middle of what looked like a fantasy throne room. Where am I? I looked down at myself, only to see my body as translucent as a ghost. Whoa! I jumped up and inspected my hands in sudden panic. I was see-through! Cool! Why? What was going on?
How dare they try to negotiate with me? Do they not know whom they speak to?
I gasped and ran behind a nearby pillar away from the voice. The sound of his anger and words frightened every bone in my body, turning me into a frightened child.
My lord, please calm yourself.
Calm? They're merely testing my resolve. I have more than half of a mind to send my greatest armies to take what should be mine. They are mere insects in the way of my kingdom's expansion.
They merely asked for a marriage joining.
So I'm to bow to them and share my land that I have so rightfully conquered?
Oh. The only guy with the beard. I peeked from behind the pillar to see a large demon, covered in royal clothes but buff enough to be a military commander. His rage practically emanated from his body as he growled to his servant.
They are willing to give their land to you, sire. All they ask is for one of your sons to marry their daughter, whom I might add is as beautiful as can be.
This is ridiculous. To suggest that I need their approval to take their land is beyond insanity. What makes them think I care about their precious daughter?
Did I mention that she is a prodigy of her kind, sire?
A prodigy?
Yes, my lord. This succubus is a master of her skills in magic and mind manipulation. She is said to sway armies with a snap of her fingers, despite being as young as she is.
Impossible!
If only it were, sire. This succubus is dangerous, but would be a great asset to have.
Is this supposed to change my mind?
Yes, my lord.
You are doing a terrible job at convincing me.
My apologies, sire.
I was lost. I could tell they were talking about Diana, but what?
Father,
I quickly turned my head to see another demon, who looked like a mere child, staring at the demon commander on the throne. Father?
Ah, Raystrow, have you finished your training?
yes, Father.
Then what do you want?
I want to be with my brothers the best of the day, Father.
The demon commander walked to the young demon and gripped his hair, picking him up off the ground and forcing him to look up at his snarl. The young demon, however, looked unfazed.
Arrogance. Why should I allow you to be with them? I should kill you for your lack of respect to me.
Because I want to be with them, Father.
I could only stare at as the young demon faced his father, despite the massive difference between them. This young demon seemed weaker and easy to kill versus the demon commander. Why would this man kill his son, though? Was the commander this ruthless? However, I wasn't expecting him to laugh and release the young demon.
Good! Assertive even in the face of danger. That is why you are my favorite son.
I could only stare wide-eyed as the commander placed his hand on the demon's shoulder.
Very well. Go. Tomorrow, you will show me your training.
The little demon grinned widely before running off.
I have a thought.
Yes, my lord.
How old is this daughter?
As old as your 5th, sire.
Do you believe this proposal is worth it?
Yes, sire.
Tell those insects that they are safe for now. I will consider their offer.
Sire, are you certain?
Did I stutter? Now go!
The demon servant quickly ran off, but as soon as he passed the pillar I was hiding behind, he, along with the commander, vanished into thin air. What had happened? I didn't get the time to try to figure out that before a demon, who looked around my age, walked into the room reading a book. Is that...
Raystrow, your nose is stuck in those books. Will you not lift your head up from them once in a while?
Is that Eric? Huh? That voice. I circled around the pillar to see a second demon leaning against another pillar, smirking at Raystrow.
Aren't you supposed to be with your mother practicing the harpsichord?
I am, but I had a feeling that you were in danger.
In danger? What are you...
Attack!
All of a sudden, 3 shadows zipped through the room and slammed into Raystrow, forcing him to fall to the ground and drop his book. Oh, not his book. As the sight cleared for me, there were 3 other demons in a dog pile with Raystrow at the bottom.
No way! You haven't had a break in months from those stupid butts. It's time for punishment!
Death by brotherhood! No more reading!
I told you that you were in danger.
I suddenly knew who these demons were. It's the boys. Even in the demon world, their brotherly connection was astounding. They were merely younger versions of themselves. One of the demons, who I assumed was Matthew, grabbed the book from the floor and opened it, reading it mockingly.
How can you read this, Raystro? It's all about war strategy. It's boring.
I have to, Zakaru. Get off!
There's only one thing you need to know about strategy. Kill them all! Take no prisoners!
You sound just like Father.
I couldn't help but giggle. It was cute to see them acting childish with each other. Eventually, James managed to push his brothers off of him and stand brushing himself off.
You all are reckless.
At least we have fun.
Where's Damien?
It's true. You haven't been with us in weeks. Don't you think it's time for a break?
I'm sure Father won't mind.
But I have to...
I know you want to, Raystrow.
Damn it.
What is going on here?
I shot my head to the voice to see the commander, aged a little, staring at the boys with his arms across his chest. Damien quickly dashed and hid behind Sam, peeking over his shoulder to see the large commander.
Nothing is going on. We just passed by each other.
Mm-hmm.
Then why does your brother have your book?
I was showing him what I was learning, Father.
Return to your studies, Raystrow. The rest of you out of my sight. Do not disturb
I hope that
your
doesn't
brother
show up.
again.
Raiden, go away. I know that you're playing Team Fortress 2. I could only stare as James gently took his book and, without looking at his brothers, returned to reading. The commander walked past the remaining brothers, growling at Sam and Damien, before leaving the room. What was up with that?
Don't worry about it. We'll find a way to get him back.
I'm gonna end this episode off here. This is really fucking weird. I love it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and give a like, maybe subscribe, maybe share with your friends too. Alright, bye-bye!